Greetings, listeners. This is Chris Frederick with the Stretch to Win Institute at stretchtowin.com. And I'm really excited to be with one of my graduates. V. Comstock is her name. She's a delightful person, great energy, and has done some unique things, creating her own niche, working with the body, mind, and spirit of people. So I think if you could please open your mind and your heart and your spirit and be able to receive some of the information that we have for you today, I think it will be a great addition to your knowledge base, and maybe you'd even like to take some action steps to get involved in this. So without further ado, I'm just going to let V take over and introduce yourself and describe maybe a little bit about what we're in store for. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Chris. You putting this together is wonderful. I'm so grateful that I took your course, and I didn't think I needed it when I took it originally, as you know, but I am so grateful. It literally saved my life.
Wow.
The program. Even though I did it to help other people, I found out that it helped you, and that's what I want to share with people today. I had gone into basically almost a life-death situation up in the mountains of Austria about 3 years ago, exactly ago. And in that accident, I was crippled. I was able to stand, but I couldn't move forward. So the rock had gone through my hip, and it tore my psoas, and I couldn't move forward. And I had a rock in my head. My shoulder was crushed in 3 inches. My clavicle was floating for 2.5 years without any structure. And the Germans and the Austrian doctors insisted that I had surgery because the rest of my body would fall apart, obviously, if I don't have the structure here. But since the holes were so big when I got the rocks in me, they couldn't close them, so it took a few months for me to heal that. And by the time my body closed up, I decided I didn't want to open it up again to surgery because their guarantee was that I would never move my arm again. Now you can see this arm is moving. What I want people to know is that it's our limited beliefs that get us into the positions that we're stuck in. And the one that the doctors were sharing with me was a limited belief. In my opinion, my blueprint knows how to put it together. And so I know what I was going to do to make that happen, but I knew that my blueprint knew what to do. So I gave the right nutrition and maybe the right stretching, and the mind, I imagined. That was a big part of it. I imagined my arm going over my head. I did not believe the doctor's voodoo that I could never use my arm. I want both arms. I don't want just one arm. So
can I just jump in?
Please.
I want to see if I'm picturing this correctly. So the doctors basically wanted to do surgery, and you say no. I'm going to follow my own path. And so in a sense, you're starting with a blank slate because you're not taking any of their advice. Did you know right away? Was it more just, I don't want to do that, I'm going to find out what my journey is? Or did you actually know right away what you were going to do? Or was it more like, okay, the spirits of the universe guide me?
Thank you. Actually, all of the above in a certain way. So it's not new for me. In 1999, December 21st, I caught on fire and I lost 40% of my skin from the waist up. And the doctors said I had 5 days to live, which didn't suit my dream. I hadn't finished all my mission while I was here, so I didn't believe them. And fortunately, when I was a little girl, I had a vision of my funeral, which sounds scary, but it's actually a huge party. And in that dream, I realized that I had done a lot of good things in the world. Well, when I was all burnt and looked like a monster, it didn't fit my funeral. My funeral, I was beautiful. Like a monster. And so I thought, no, this is not how I go. I don't go this way. And so without, that took quite a few years, but I grew back all my skin, and the scars are very limited, and people are shocked that it was ears grow back, hair grows back. I mean, it's just phenomenal what's possible. So with that as my history, when I got to the very sure, Austrian German style doctors who know exactly how it is, and that's just the only way it can be.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit stubborn. values. And I was like, interesting, but I don't believe that's my only choice just because it's theirs. It's their belief. They invested their whole career on it, and I respect that. And I utilized their information, but I didn't get limited by it. That's just part of it. So the first thing I did was start praying and visualizing myself doing like the jacks, what's that called? Jack.
Is it jumping jack or snow angel?
And mind you, I couldn't lift my hand from my side about this much, so it was a lot of imagination, And the pain is distracting because I had from head to knee, every bone on my left side was bruised, which feels like you're walking around on broken bones, and it's constant pain. In fact, it's suicidal pain. Like that's how painful it is. So the distraction for me was mostly relaxing, visualizing fascia, because in that workshop I was able to see the video of what fascia looks like,
right.
And for me that helped. And so I'm thinking, my fascia's locked up right now. I'm going to drink water. I'm going to give minerals, and I'm going to little by little start stretching what I can without anybody guiding. It took 3 months in the German medical insurance world for me to get my MRI in Germany. I got it all done in Austria because that was my accident. But during those 3 months, I had no medication, nobody helping me, and I was alone in Germany basically with a lot of pain on my hands. And the first thing I started doing was imagining my fascia being fluid, just like in the video, and that was the beginning. But little by little, I came up with stretches that I could do myself. I couldn't find any I couldn't find any fascia stretchers to facilitate me, so I just started to stretch myself, and I would do it 3 or 4 times a day just to ease the pain and to believe that I could keep growing, and keep the healing process in motion. And I was judged a lot because I don't show pain the way most people do. I have an odd sense of humor, and I just get quiet, or I get goofy, and so I was really alone in my little world. But little by little, a miracle happened, and I don't know how many people are going to benefit from this miracle, but it's a miracle. This joint that was crushed and the hole is still there. I don't know if you can see the lump there. It's like this is with a rock. With my meditation and my fascia stretching and my belief that my blueprint will know what to do with this stuff that I have going on, this joint that got shoved in 3 inches disintegrated. The scar tissue that they said was going to prevent me from ever being able to move my arm again, slowly, and I get chills talking about it right now, slowly, and I don't know how, but 6 months into it, I got the ultrasound. It was amazing.
Wait, say that again. What happened? I got cut off just slightly. Say that again about the ultrasound.
The ultrasound showed that was no longer the scar tissue. It was 6 months prior to that ultrasound. It was turning into a joint. And not only was it turning into a joint all by itself, my clavicle, which was loose and
so in other words, you had, is it correct to say that it was an AC joint separation, a acromioclavicular joint separation?
Much.
Yeah.
My joint was here. My clavicle was here. This thing disappeared, and all the scar tissue formulated a joint that naturally wrapped around that floating clavicle.
Wow. So it was complete separation, torn right through, and it reconnected. Wow.
It's not just reconnected. I don't know if you understand. The original joint disappeared. It disintegrated.
It formed a new joint.
And took the material that was called scar tissue and turned it into a joint. I don't know anybody that knows about this.
Did the doctors actually verify that on the, what was it, ultrasound or MRI or what?
No, the chiropractor. So I'm in America now, so Germany no longer, they couldn't help me because I wasn't willing to do that mandatory surgery.
Right.
So when I came here, I'm working with a chiropractor. That's all I had.
Right.
I didn't have, and so they let me use the ultrasound. So 6 months prior, we see it completely separated. But in Germany, I have plenty of pictures. In all the insurance, it's like mandatory surgery, and you'll never use your arm again.
Right.
So I have that. Now I take a picture of me now. There's no joint that's out of place. There's a brand new joint, and it's completely right. There's still a lump here, but my body jerks.
And also, while you function, you couldn't use your shoulder like you could use it now.
But yeah, so only half of my body supported me for 3 years, and then it ceased as soon as this one got a little bit ready.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were. So my body's been, compensating and adjusting. But the most important thing for everyone to realize is that we can, whatever we came in with, the blueprint we came in with, our body's not going to forget how to do that. I mean,
so in a sense, you kind of reprogram your genes. I don't know how accurate this is, but we know when you stretch, you can actually stimulate gene transcription, they call it, but you can actually, they call it epigenetics now, where they know your genes are not fixed. Just because your mom or dad had something doesn't mean you're guaranteed this or that. And so they know with movement, at the least, and you did, I would almost call it inspirational stretching. That's what I call it right now. Just how you just described it to me. I saw inspirational stretching because you didn't have any guidance really, just your background with our training, but it's your spirit and whatever helped you. So I think you actually did have an ability to change your genes, which can heal and bring you back to, like you said, your original blueprint before the world, before accidents happened or So I love it. So besides your shoulder, where else did you have issues that,
well, my hip.
Okay.
In fact, I can show you. That's where the rock went in.
The left hip.
Do you see?
Yeah, on the iliac crest. I see it.
Okay. Well, it was a lot thicker, but it keeps getting flatter, so pretty soon there probably won't be anything to show. But where that rock went through, I was crippled. And my psoas got damaged, and so I couldn't walk forward. I couldn't activate those muscles. But what I did do was something that I teach people anyways, and how to build confidence alone. You don't do it in front of people, but you stand like Wonder Woman or Superman. I could do. So I utilized that as long as I could. Stand in the mirror, I am Wonder Woman, very strong and very confident. And because you're very insecure and in a lot of pain, you feel very vulnerable. So these moments, wherever you can do it, you build your inner strength while you're, believing that everything's going to be for the right, time, the right.
What I like about that image that you just mentioned was it reminds me of tribal people. And they always had a shaman, medicine man, medicine woman. And part of the journey that they would take a tribal member on who was sick, mentally, physically, whatever, it didn't matter, body, mind, spirit. If any of that was sick, they would, all tribes are different, but in general, they would, from my experience, what I've seen and read, is they would take that tribal member on a journey. And part of the journey could be creating almost like an avatar for them. It would be a Marvel comic character, if you will, using today's terminology or Hollywood terminology, or someone that helps you, someone that helps you power up. Just like you said, I am now Wonder Woman, and I'm going to heal myself. There is nothing that will interrupt this. This is what's going to occur. I know it for sure in my being, and you believe in it. And that stimulates the healing process. So I believe you're tapping into something that we all have potentially in us. I think it's part of our heritage from our tribal ancestor beginnings. We all come from tribes going way back, but we've lost that in addition to so many other things from that kind of, hunter-gatherer lifestyle and other lifestyles that we're so, just separate from that we go to the experts and they're not healers. With all due respect, they help a lot of people, but, healers are far and few between. And I think the first place it starts to, if you can teach people how to heal themselves, because everyone's into DIY, do it yourself this and do it yourself that. It's like, what about do it yourself healing?
Exactly. And that's what I'm encouraging.
That's what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. And when you were talking about the tribal and the medicine man and all that, by the way, I'm Cherokee Indian. My grandmother was born on a Cherokee reservation. And I consider myself a medicine woman.
Yeah, I know. I think your name was Blonde Eagle, was it?
I'm not sure. I'm still the white sheep of that family, but...
Hey, white sheep. That's not a bad name.
While you were saying that, I was getting chills, and I've been sweating and hot all day. So those chills are just signifying to me that we are resonating with tapping into that self-healing. You call it do-it-yourself, and that's what I want. I want everyone to know that we are creating our bodies every day. We know this scientifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're always getting new skills,
mm-hmm.
but we don't realize that we're the ones that are creating it. So why not find beliefs that inspire what we want instead of what other people tell us we're going to get?
You know, man, I mean, this is just the beginning of some really cool conversations I believe we have just started. But because we only have a short time today, is there one thing, I mean, it could be, create your own Wonder Woman, Wonder Man, whatever you want to call it. But is there one thing out of all that we discussed that you can maybe give to a listener that they can start that journey? Just one thing? What could they start?
Oh, definitely. The first thing that I taught myself and I teach other people is how to get connected with their divinity. And once you get connected with your divinity, there's nothing impossible because you really are that powerful. So I do it with sound. You can do it inwardly, but I always teach people to do it outwardly first, just so they get the feel of the vibration of that sound. And then when you're around people and you don't want them to know what you're doing, because you're making sounds around people, they get curious. But I've done it. It's called the hue.
Mm-hmm.
The long, stretched out breath, and while you're doing it, I imagine myself as a sponge in the ocean,
mm-hmm.
and everything around me is the ocean of love and mercy. And as I hew, I open myself up, every pore in my body, for all this love and mercy to come through me and saturate me. And I just become one with everything. And in that moment, that's how we get connected. Even if you do it for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, I used to do it when I warmed up my car. I had a very challenging toddler and a teenager that can be challenging too, both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took time before it could really get ready for the road. It was a maverick. And so while we all sat in the car, I just hewed until the car literally started to purr.
Nice.
And then,
hey, if you're gonna warm up your car, you might as well warm up yourself too at the same time.
Well, that's the bizarre part. And I'm learning how technology is my friend because, like right now, we wouldn't be able to do this without technology. But for many years, I was too sensitive to it. It would shut down. I go into a building like, is V here? None of the computers are working. They're all frozen. I was like, could it be me?
Well,
now
yeah, I'm grateful for this technology, but I'm going to get us both on the home stretch of this interview, kind of bring it towards a close. I don't want to, but I have to. But this is just an introduction to some future conversations, and I have I would like to propose something. I would like to ask you, is it possible for us maybe to do our next conversation on how to some strategies, how to tap into now you called it divinity. Some people that are atheists may be a little touchy on that word, and it's just a word. I think the spirit of a person might be a little bit more accepting to some people. life
Your life
force.
force.
Yeah, and there's science to back that for those
Yeah.
who are a little bit, hey, that sounds like a religion or something. So we don't want to. We want to include everybody and let them
Exactly.
know whether it doesn't matter what you believe in. It's an undeniable fact that we do have a spirit. We do have resonance that resonates at certain frequencies, like gems and emeralds and stones and other things, organic matter. We all have different resonance frequencies, and so on and so forth. So I believe that's what we're talking about here. Is you can call it what you want, but it's something that resides within us that is outside of our body and inside of our body at the same time. Actually, it's electromagnetic energy. It's all kinds of things. It's almost, there is no word really to describe it because there's so many things. That's what makes it a beautiful, amazing thing that can do miracles like you just described. So I think it would be cool if it's possible, if you would like to, is maybe start a conversational series on how to start tapping into that. What do you think?
I think it's a wonderful idea, and it's a ground point and everything you just said. I agree with, except for the part about it doesn't matter what you believe. I know what you meant, but in my belief system, it matters everything what I believe. And so the fact,
Right.
And belief can be the belief. I'm hoping by my example that people will start believing.
You're right.
How powerful they. And just like when there used to be a mile run that could only be done in a certain amount of time, someone broke that record, and now everybody's breaking it. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping I'm that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I guess what I meant was, if you don't believe in God, but if you believe in the power that we're talking about, it can work for you. You know, if you don't believe in a religion or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever belief system supports their goal is going to be the one that I go for.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said it's all inclusive. Although tribal peoples always believed in a divine spirit. They always did, and I think that's part of their. I think that's part of their success in making things happen without science, without other knowledges. Was they believed in a divine help. They believed in divine sources of things, which is why they were able to do things that people can't do today. So,
and I don't consider it religion. I consider it a life force that we can tap into, and whatever you want to call it to make it comfortable, because everyone's got their own triggers. I say call it what you want until it supports your goal.
And whatever it is, girl, you healed yourself. You're back with us today. You're looking fantastic. I can't believe what you've been through and what you've what you've done to come this far. And I think it's so inspirational that we just have to share it with others. So I'm grateful that you invited me to be a part of this. And I'm really looking forward to being with you again on this journey.
Thank you so much for your time. I know how valuable it is, and how many projects you have, and your beautiful wife probably needs a lot of your attention. So I'm so grateful that you see my vision as worthy to get out there, because I just don't want anyone to miss out. I just believe that everyone has a chance to be as young and vivacious and as connected as they can be.
All right. So would you rather, if anyone's interested in working with you personally, maybe over the phone, over the internet or something, do you want them to contact you directly? Would you rather them contact me and I contact you? How would you like to handle that?
That would be very generous of you and your time.
It's up to you.
If you know people, it'd be better that you connect with them, but it's not necessary. If you want to give them my Skype number and just have them directly talk to me like we're doing now that I can work Skype.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just... Yeah, I mean, do you feel comfortable just putting it out there? Do you feel comfortable putting it out there over the internet right now? Or would you... It's up to you.
So.
Okay.
Comstock. VEECOMSTOCK is my Skype number. Please contact me. I am a life coach that's happy to help you with whatever your goals and dreams are.
Awesome. Well, we have it. Well, thanks so much, V. I'm looking forward to our next conversation. Man, I'm so excited. So I'll leave it at that, because this is just going to go off in some really interesting directions. So thanks again for your time. And listeners, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I know a lot of you can benefit from what V is talking about. I've been on my own spiritual journey, and I agree 100% with what V just said. I've had my own successes with similar things happening to me and others. And I think it's our obligation to share this information with others that are in desperate need, those who lost hope, trying to go through the system. The system's not working for them. So thank you so much, V. So till we meet again, this is Chris Frederick with V Comstock, stretchtowin.com. Ta-ta for now. Bye-bye all.